Good afternoon, Lions fans, and welcome to the Salette Sports Network. I'm Kevin Quigley with Michael McCall, and we're coming to you live from Arthur Christian School, where the Salette Lions varsity team is about to take on its biggest rivals, the Arthur Christian Conquering Riders. We just saw the JV team for Salette pull off a close win, 33-31, and we're about a minute and a half away from the national anthem, and then we'll get this game started.
This is a long rivalry between Salette and Arthur Christian Oka. This is not the cup game though. That is going to be over Parents Weekends. So this is just a regular season game for the Lions.
Right. We had a little bit of confusion. We were thinking it might be the Bravium Cup this game today, but they made a last-minute change, and we're going to be playing that later on. The Bravium Cup, of course, that's the trophy for the annual game that these two teams play. Arthur Christian recently rebranded. They were formerly known as the Arthur Oka Christian, and then I believe 2 years ago they switched to just Arthur Christian. But teams are heading to the benches now. The announcer is coming out, and we're going to do the national anthem now. We'll take a quick break and come back as soon as that's over. All right, national anthem is over, and we're about to get the starting lineups. Salette, of course, the visiting team. They're coming out first. Number 10, the point guard, junior, William Fitzpatrick. He's had a couple great games, knocked down some threes. And speaking of number 3, here comes Augustin Blood, the senior, one of our two big men. And then Eamon Martin, shooting guard, number 11. Eamon also plays a little bit of forward. And there's another forward coming out, number 22, Charles Prather, joining Augustin Blood in the front court. And then the captain, number 24, senior, Matthew Romero. And as always, head coach John Spezia.
And this lineup for the Lions, it's, I guess, sort of new, and it's a really good lineup for the Lions. They've really taken it for the past 2 games and run with it, been able to put a lot of points up on the board with it.
So first for Arthur Christian. Number 10, Asa Binion. Number 11, Cole Gabriels. Arthur team tonight is going to be 3 seniors and 2 sophomores. The third senior comes out, number 12, Jaden Mast, coach's son. Number 24, Tyson Flume. Lions are really going to have to watch out for him. He's quite a force on the boards. And number 34, the second sophomore, Brock Helmuth. Head coach for Arthur, as it has been for the past several seasons, Greg Mast. Now both teams are heading out to tip off to start the game. Charles Prather is going to be facing off against Kyson Flume, and this is going to be their first matchup, and I'm sure a game full of matchups between these two players. Lions win the tip-off. Fitzpatrick has the ball.
He's going to walk past the 10-second line, gets it to Eamon Martin, who fumbles it, and that's going to be going out of bounds. Arthur really taking that. Going to try to grab some momentum from that. The Lions had in the past few games have struggled to put points on the board, but their defense has been pretty strong in the first few minutes of the first quarter in their recent games.
Asa Binion takes a 3. That's no good. Easily rebounded by Fitzpatrick. He's taking it down the court quickly, matching the pace set by number 12, Jaden Mast for the Conquering Riders. Eamon's three-pointer, no good.
Jaden Mast, he's bringing it up the court. He's going to take a 3. That is going to go hard off the front of the rim. Quick pass to 10. He's going to take the jumper. That's no good. And that's a rebound by Matthew Romero. Matthew's going to take the ball past the 10-second line. Gets past Mast, gives it to Eamon at the wing.
This is a fast-paced game right now. Both teams came out to play today.
Matthew gives it to Eamon over to the wing. Fitzpatrick now with it. Drives to the middle. Pump fakes, gives it to Matthew. Matthew's going to take a 3. That one's not going to fall. Binion with the rebound. Throws it up into the paint to Helmuth. Over to the corner. Now over to Binion, now to Mast. He takes the 3, and that one's finally going to fall for Arthur.
Arthur puts the first points on the board today, up by 3. They're out for some revenge today because La Salette gave them a drubbing last year, won both the games that they played, including the Bravium Cup. Fitzpatrick takes a 3 of his own. That's off. He didn't have quite as much time as he would have liked. Mast bringing up the court quickly for the Riders. And Flume's going to sink a 3 as well. Lions are going to have to react and get their defense set up more quickly because Arthur is willing to take shots right off the dribble if they're there.
The Lions really need to set the pace for this game. They need to play at their own pace. They don't need to follow the pace of Arthur. And as Fitzpatrick has it at the wing, he's going to drive in, slowing things down for the Lions. Eamon holding on to it at the wing. Backs up, drives over, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick's going to take his 3. That one's going to roll off the rim. Rebound, Charles Prather. Charles Prather, he's going to be called for the travel. And, I mean, the Lions have not been making their shots, but I think that's okay. They're taking the shots, which is good. They're getting comfortable on their court, getting used to these rims. Last game, they were down 8-2, and then they started taking the shots and making them. So right now, the Lions are down by 6, but they've seen this before.
Right, Lions had a great win last night against local rivals Georgetown Ridge Farm. So Lions have back-to-back rivalry games today as Flume hits another 3-pointer.
Fitzpatrick drives in. He's holding on to it, gives it to Eamon Martin. Eamon gets it out to Matthew Romero at the top, over to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick gets it into Gustin Blood. Gustin Blood circling around. He's going to be fouled by Gabriels.
It's not going to be a shooting foul, so Eamon's going to inbound under the Arthur hoop. Lions still trying to get the first points up on the board. Eamon doesn't see anybody. On the inbound, hits Gabriel's arm, but is able to come up with it. Romero guarded by Mast. He's being a real thorn in his side. He's playing defense very tightly. Matt tries to get into Gus, but the bounce pass too slow and it gets picked off. Now Binion taking it down, jumps around, and his layup far too high, and Charles with another rebound.
And the Lions seem to start to slow things down. They're still trying to fight back, get the score back. Fitzpatrick's going to drive in, pass into Gus Blood. He holds on to it, gives it over to Eamon Martin. Adrian drives in, tries to get Gabriels off of him. Gabriels is not budging. Back out to Fitz. They're going to reset this offense. Gives it over to Matthew Romero. Matthew outside the perimeter, drives in, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Over to Eamon. Eamon pump fakes, gets the ball tipped out from him from Gabriels. And now it's going to be Eamon on the baseline. Inbounding it, gives it to Charles Prather. Charles gives it to Gus. Over to Matthew Romero on the right wing, way outside the perimeter. Gets into Gus Blood. Off his fingers. Gus is going to try to throw it off of the Arthur player. No good. Plum recovers it. Eamon tries to steal it. No good. Matthew comes up with the steal. He has Gus. Good pass over to Gus. Gus gets his defender off his feet, and there we go. Augustin Blood putting the first points on the board for the Lions with 3 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first quarter.
Right, and when Gus tried to save that ball from going out of bounds by flinging it in, the Arthur players just backed off because that ball came in hard, and it would have hurt if they had gotten in the way. Gus, a very strong player. Now the ball to Binion in the quarter. He drives baseline, gets it to Mast. Mast's three is up, and he's going to get fouled on his three-point attempt, which goes in. Fouls on Romero. Matt had a couple costly fouls in the game last night. He's definitely going to have to be careful.
That's a big three from Arthur there.
All of Arthur's points have come off of threes this game, 2 from Mast and 2 from Flume. So because of that, Elijah Hall going to come in to the game for Gus Blood, but Lions are definitely going to need to keep their guards out there, and that's why Elijah came in for a forward. Number 23, Joshua Skorowski, comes into the game for Arthur. Arthur not picking up defense till half court, so the Lions don't have to worry about a press break.
Strong defense from Gabriels. Eamon picks up his dribble, gives it over to William Fitzpatrick. William Fitzpatrick holding on to it. Drives in, and he's going to be fouled. And William Fitzpatrick, that's 2 times in a row he's gone into the paint against a big height disadvantage. And he was fouled on this one. I think he's trying to pop the ball out. Draw defenders towards him. Eamon Martin holding it at the baseline. He's going to throw it off of Gabriels. Didn't have anyone open. Lions ball again under the hoop. Inbounded easily to Matthew Romero. Matthew gives it to Fitzpatrick. Over to Eamon. Eamon's open for the three. He takes it. That one's no good.
Lions really need to dial in their three-point shots. Skorowski for 3. No good. Charles Prather with the rebound.
Good rebound there from Charles. Hands it off to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick takes it past the 10-second line. He drives into, hands it off to Elijah Hall. He gives it out to Eamon. Eamon drives in, gives it back to Elijah Hall. Get the ball tipped from him. Arthur's ball, Mast, quickly bringing it up the court. Gets it to Skronowski in the corner. That's another 3 from Mast, and he's going to sink that one.
Loslett needs to play better defense out around the perimeter. Their defense needs to push up. They can't wait until right at the arc to pick up coverage. Gabriels steals it from Romero. Mast drives in, then kicks it out. Charles Prather gets his fingers on it and tips it out of bounds.
And the Lions are just going to have to adjust from last game. Last game they played against Georgetown. They were staying close in towards the hoop, letting the Georgetown go in there on the perimeter as much as they want. They cannot do that against Arthur. Arthur is a three-point shooting team. We've definitely seen that this game. And they've got to just take that away from Arthur.
Mast takes a deep three-point attempt that bounces around the rim and falls in. He definitely has these rims figured out. Eamon now taking it across the half-court line. Ethan Petersham, number 3, had subbed into the game. He was guarding Eamon. Charles dribbles it off his foot and turns it over. Mass takes another three. That's no good.
That was a deep three from Mass. Is not going to fall, so it's going to be Lions ball. Eamon inbounding it. He gets it over to Matthew Romero. And the Lions just have to keep their minds in the game, not worry about the score. Play each play, and Matthew Romero is going to drive in there. Nice layup there by him. Nice jumper, excuse me, there by him. In the corner with Skronowski, flies it over to the other end of Flume. Flume over to Mast. Mast can't control it. And Skronowski's going to come up with it. Charles Prather gets his fingers on it. And Flume is going to touch it before it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Lions ball. And Arthur is definitely seeming very, very confident right now, taking crazy shots that should not be taken. Also just they're looking a little more sloppy out there, and the Lions just really have to take advantage of that. They really have to take advantage of Arthur being a little bit too overconfident right now with those big threes and chip away at the scoreboard slowly.
Romero in the wing, gets around Mast, gets the ball to Augustin Blood. Charles, nice move to drive around, left-handed finish, no good. Ball gets tipped around. Charles barely avoids fouling Mast. He's coming down the court quickly. 20, Caden Henry takes the three, no good, and they're going to call, I believe it hit the support above the basket, so they're going to give the ball to La Salette.
25 seconds left in the first quarter, 19-4. Ball inbounded to Fitzpatrick.
20 seconds left in the first quarter. Lions need to score.
Fitzpatrick gets a screen from Gus, holding on to it, picks it up, gets it to Matthew. Ball deflected. Matthew does not come up with it. It's going to be Arthur's ball. Matthew saves it into Eamon. 2 seconds left. He's going to take a shot. That one's going to go hard off the backboard. No good. And a rough start to this game for the Lions as Arthur just comes down and sinks three after three.
La Salette hasn't played anyone this season that's played at this pace. So even though La Salette is a well-conditioned team, they never really have to play at a fast pace. But Arthur's letting them know that if they're not up to sprint, then they're going to score on them. So La Salette can't take their time. They just need to get out and get back on D, running up and down either side of the court. I don't think that there's even really been fast breaks just because each team is always down to the other side of the court so quickly.
And the Lions they need to be solid on offense again. We've seen this as a reoccurring problem for the Lions. They find it a very hard time putting points on the board in the first quarter. Last game, they scored only 8 points in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, they scored 21. So hopefully they can pull off something like that tonight and figure out what they need to do as they come out of the timeout.
Right, the 4 points from the Lions so far coming from Matthew Romero, who hit a floater, and then also Gus Blood with a layup earlier in the game. There's also been several three-point attempts from the Lions, none of which have fallen.
And Fitzpatrick picking up Skronowski early on as soon as he catches the ball. Back to Skronowski, he's holding on to it. Fitzpatrick guarding him. In the corner, that's a three-point attempt, no good, hard off the rim. Fitzpatrick fighting to get the rebound, and it's no good. The ball's gonna stay with White. Ball's easily inbounded into Binion, over to Skronowski. He gets it into the paint.
To Flume, who misses his jumper from the elbow. Charles comes up with another rebound.
Fitzpatrick's going to take a pass to 10-second line. He quickens it up, gets it to Matthew Romero on the wing. Over to Charles Prather at the high post. Now Fitzpatrick with it. Gives it to Matthew. Over to Eamon Martin. Quick jumper. That one's no good.
Eamon's shots aren't falling right now, and if he can't get that squared up, that's going to be really hard for La Salette to recover from. Amon does play great defense, and Charles Prather with the block on number 20, Caden Henry. He put that layup up, and Charles just destroyed it off the backboard. What a play from Charles Prather.
That was a great play from Charles. That's exactly what the Lions needed. They need something right now to boost their momentum, get some energy on the court. William Fitzpatrick drives into the high post. The ball's stripped from him. He recovers it. And he's going to find Gus Blood in the high post. He's spinning around, gives it to Matthew. Matthew's going to take a three. He's going to not sink that one. He's going to roll around, go out, and Arthur comes up with the rebound. And Binion's going to be, no, he's not called for that travel. Definitely one there, but there's a timeout from the Arthur coach. As Gabriel checks back into the game. The Lions trying to figure something out. They have held Arthur, not scoring any points in the first few minutes of the second quarter, but they need to figure out how to put the ball into the basket. And I don't know if they've been taking good shots. They just have not been falling. And then Gus Blood and Charles Prather have kind of been locked up down in the post. They've been finding a hard time getting the ball into the hoop. I think, or was Gus Blood's, was that a layup or a floater?
That was a layup that Gus hit. It was off a nice move. He went around his defender and was there for it. Charles Prather doing a great job with rebounding. But at the same time, no one else really able to step up in the same way on offense. Charles is coming with a lot of defensive boards, but no points coming from the Lions this quarter so far.
As Arthur comes out from their timeout. It's going to be their ball, mid-court. 19-4, 6 minutes, 25 seconds left in the first half. Gabriel's with it. Finds Mast. Mast steps up, back over to Gabriel's. Gabriel's gets it into the post, going to go off of Arthur's hands, and it's going to be Lions ball.
Mara inbounds to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick lets him know what play he's going to run, then Gabriels comes up to guard him. Blaze Laronia, who's come into the game for Eamon Martin, touches the ball for the first time this game. Bounce pass into Gus Blood. Charles has it now right inside the three-point line at the corner. Blaze Laronia for three, and that is good. Blaze off the bench, sinks a three to start.
That's a big play from Blaze Laronia. That's desperately needed points from the Lions, not only for points, but for momentum as Mast tries to hit his own three, but it looks like he's gone cold just a little bit. He doesn't make it. Rebound, Charles Prather. Fitzpatrick takes it past the 10-second line. Gabriels pokes it out. Fitzpatrick recovers it. It's now a 4-on-5. They need to take advantage of this. Eamon gets it into Gus Blood as Gabriel returns. Gus Blood spins around, and that one's going to fall. The Lions slowly peeling back at the scoreboard, 9-19. Got to play strong defense here.
What a play from Gus Blood. That was not a spin and then jump. He jumped and spun in the air, and then Matthew Romero tips the ball out of bounds to disrupt the Arthur offense. Momentum swinging into the Lions' favor. They've scored 5 quick points without allowing Arthur to score any so far. They need to be careful. Asa Binion open in the corner, but Helmuth tries to take a three. No good. That's going to be an air ball. Fitzpatrick has it now coming off the court. Guard by Gabriels. Almost loses his dribble, but doesn't. Does a good job to maintain possession. He's really having to work hard. Blaze fakes the pass to the corner, but there's no one there. Matt has it now at the wing. Guarded by Mast. Looking for Blaze to get open for another three. We'll see what happens. Matt almost gets the ball tipped away from him, but doesn't. And he is going to get fouled.
As Flume comes back into the game, looks like Arthur's put their starting lineup back in as Eamon's coming back in for Fitzpatrick. Mast is a very aggressive player, so we should also take advantage of that and grab some, try to get as many fouls on him as possible as Blaze gives it to Matthew. Eamon gives it back to Laronia. who gives it over to Matthew. Matthew's going to take his three, and that one's not going to go in. Charles Prather, he's going to be called for the foul. Might have been over the back. And it was just a pushing foul. But that's the Lions' second. That foul's on Gus Blood, the scoreboard's saying. Gabriels gives it to Binion. Now Helmuth over with it, and the ball's going to go into Eamon Martin's hands. Eamon's a 3-on-1. He pulls it back out as Gabriel comes to pressure him. Eamon gets it over to Blaze. Blaze is going to fire another three, and that one's not going to fall. Eamon Martin tries to grab the rebound, but it's no good. He does not come with it as Mass brings it down. He's going to take another deep three. That one's no good. Might have been a travel there. Nothing called. Lions now with it.
Definitely think Mass picked that ball up before he came to a jump stop, but refs don't call anything because it was close. Matt, nice pass into Charles. Blaze gives it to Eamon. Eamon puts up a shot. No good. No one there to grab the rebound, so Romero does, and puts in another floater.
What a shot there by Matthew Romero, realizing that there was a free ball, jumped on it, grabbed it. Nice floater.
And the Lions are coming back, cutting the lead to 8 now. They were down by 15, and so far Arthur hasn't scored at all this quarter. Score is 19-11 now. Charles Prather with another block.
What a block there by Charles Prather. Gets his fingers on it as Flume tries to take his shot. Gabriels goes in, and he's finally going to get fouled.
Asa Binion was the one that went up for the shot that Charles swatted. Charles tried to swat Gabriel's shot there, but missed it, and he's going to hit Gabriel's hand. But that foul is actually not going to be on Charles. That's going to be on Gus Blood for a push, so that's good because we definitely don't want Charles to foul out. Gus is playing a big part, but I think Charles is arguably the more important player this game. We'll see if Gus can change that. Gabriel's second free throw is good. Elijah Hall coming into the game now for Gus.
And Fitzpatrick came in for Matthew. Matthew takes a seat on the bench to get a breather. He's had a really good second quarter, 2 big shots. Eamon taking the point guard position, takes it past the 10-second line. Finds Blaze Laronia. Blaze finds Fitzpatrick. The ball tipped by Mass. Fitzpatrick comes up with it. Over to Eamon Martin. Back to Blaze Laronia. He's going to take the three, and that one's going to be hard off the rim. Elijah Hall comes up with the rebound. Bad pass by Elijah. It's saying the refs signal that it's going to Arthur.
It was too bad. That was a good rebound by Elijah, but then he's unable to keep possession with La Salette. Asa Binion now gets it to Mast at the wing. Binion now back with it at the top. Eamon tries to get the steal, no good. Flume gets it into Binion, and his shot is going to bounce in. 4-2. Conquering Riders up now, 22-11.
Lions need to put more points up on the board before the half comes to a close with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. They're going to call the charge on Eamon Martin. And I don't think that was a charge. Skronowski looks like
he was definitely not planted. That's the same thing we saw in the JV game. They called it a charge, and while it probably was a foul on Eamon, that was just a push. So they shouldn't be calling a charge there, but they do.
Mass with it. He drives in, gives it to Skronowski. He's going to take a three. That's no good. Air ball right into the hands of Blaze Laronia. 1:50 seconds left. Fitzpatrick, point guard, pulls it past the 10-second line. Mass giving him room. Fitzpatrick picks up his dribble, gives it to Eamon. Eamon drives in. Jumper. That's going to fall in. Nice shot there by Eamon Martin. 22-13.
Those are Eamon's first points of the game. Fitzpatrick narrowly avoids getting the steal, and then Eamon's able to steal the ball from Mast and then save it and tip it right into the hands of Blaze. Great play there by Eamon. 2 back-to-back plays on offense and defense.
Fitzpatrick gives it to Blaze Laronia. This is the Lions' chance to take very big momentum. Elijah Hall gets the ball after it's a loose ball, and he throws it in for 2. Great play there for Elijah Hall.
Lions playing very heads up. They've had a couple plays not go their way, but they're able to come away with it anyway. Charles Prather tips the ball, comes away with it, tips it to Fitzpatrick, and they're going to force another turnover from Arthur. Going to stay blue ball. Lions cut the lead to 7 now after Elijah's layup. score 22-15. Lions have scored 10 to Arthur's 3 this quarter. Second quarter, definitely a strong one for La Salette, both tonight and last night against Georgetown. Now Blaze for 3. That's going to be over the rim, no good, but a good shot. Nevertheless, he was open.
Matthew Romero, he's coming back in, masked with it. Over in the corner, Flume for the 3. That's off the rim, no good. I think there was another travel there, no good. Mask gets it over to Flume. Puts the ball on the floor, gives it into the corner to Stradowski. He takes the 3, he's gonna sink that one, 25-15. Now Fitzpatrick with it, gives it to Eamon Martin.
Clock winding down, 25 seconds left in the half. Eamon hit a buzzer beater 3-pointer in the second quarter last night. Let's see if the Lions can do it again. Clock winding down, 12 seconds, and Eamon's gonna be fouled by Skoronski.
With 11.8 seconds left, that's a good foul for the Lions. There was nothing really happening, nothing opening up, so Eamon's gonna inbound it on the baseline. Gives it into Fitzpatrick.
10 seconds left. Crazy's counting down. Fitzpatrick drives in, and he's gonna lose it out of bounds. Blaze tries to save it. Now Matthew Romero is gonna come into the game for Blaze. 5 seconds left. Let's see what Arthur can do. To get the ball into Skoronski. Now Mast with it. Fitz, good job not to foul. Mast's shot falls short. And that's going to be the end of the first half. Lions do a good job cutting the lead, but they're still down by 10 points now. Going into halftime, 25-15. Stick around after halftime to see the second half. We're happy to bring that to you, but halftime it is right now, and so we'll see what the Lions can do coming up in about 10 minutes. welcome back to the La Salette Lions varsity game against the Arthur Christian Conquering Riders. We're back for the second half. Lions down right now 25-15, but we are, of course, switching sides, and it seemed like all the shots that the Conquering Riders were taking, no matter how bad they were going in, and all the La Salette shots just happened to rattle out, so maybe it's something to do with the rims. I don't know. We know that La Salette can shoot, and their shots weren't falling, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and blame it on the rims, and we'll see if I'm right.
We'll just have
the
to see.
second half plays out.
Exactly. We'll just have to see if their shots start falling. But one thing that I'm happy that's concrete that we can actually say that we can see is that the Lions, the Arthur came off really strong, hitting a lot of threes. The Lions did not give up at all. They just came back, clawing back at the scoreboard, and were able to drop the score down the point deficit to 10, which is great for the Lions. They had a lot of momentum going for them right before the second half ended. Hopefully they can pick that right back up in the third quarter.
Starters back out for both teams. Remember to watch number 12, Jaden Mast, on the Arthur team. He's very aggressive, and he's come up with a lot of points so far for Arthur Christian. And Eamon's going to draw a quick foul off number 11, Cole Gabriels, on a block as he tried to drive baseline.
That's Gabriel's second as Eamon inbounds the ball. He finds Charles Prather under the hoop. He's going to throw it up for two. No good. Eamon Martin comes out with the rebound. He's going to be fouled, going up for two. That almost went in, but did not.
Yeah, nice putback attempt by Eamon. If he had just come down, he probably wouldn't have gotten fouled and probably would have gotten swallowed up by the defense, who were a lot taller than him, so smart play there.
And if Eamon is able to sink both of these, which he's not able to hit his first one, but this is a good possession for the Lions if he's able to sink the second one, because they're going to put points on the board and also get Arthur to pick up 2 fouls. That second shot's going to roll out as Mass grabs the ball and gives it in the corner to Flume. Eamon almost grabs it, and Fitzpatrick comes up with the tip. It's going to go out of bounds, and the Lions are just dominating right now on defense, jumping on every loose ball, not letting anything get by them. Flume passes to Eamon. Eamon's going to be called for the travel.
Even though Eamon got the steal, he is called for the travel. The refs have some interesting views on travels this game. There's been a lot of borderline calls, which, they could go either way, but it seems like they always go to Arthur Christian. And there's going to be a foul now on the Lions, on Eamon. That's going to be his second, I believe.
It's going to be Arthur's ball underneath their hoop. Mast inbounding it. In the corner, gives it back to Mass. Flume at the top of the key, over to Gabriels. Gabriels swings it to the corner. Binion open for a wide open shot. He's going to airball that one. Their shot, the second shot by Flume is no good. Hard off the rim. Lions rebounds. Matthew slowly taking it past the 10-second line.
Still no points so far in the second half. Fitzpatrick swings it to Eamon. Eamon gets pushed by Gabriels, no foul called. Romero having to deal with being guarded by Mast. Eamon now does well not to get called for an over and back, and drives in and draws a foul, so he'll have a chance to regroup after missing those last 2 free throws.
And the Lions just quickly racking up the fouls on Arthur. 6 minutes, 35 seconds left in the third quarter, so very early in the second half, and Arthur already has 3 fouls. Lions need to keep that up, hopefully get in the bonus later on in the second half.
And even if they don't get into the bonus, as Eamon makes his first free throw, even if they don't get into the bonus, then they might at least slow down the Arthur defense, and slowing down the Arthur defense a little bit is going to open up a lot of shots, because there's a lot of times where the Lions are just slightly too guarded, and then Eamon makes his second free throw. Flume takes a 3-pointer and makes it. Score now 28-17, Arthur Christian in the lead.
Fitzpatrick being picked up, gets past the 10-second line, gets a screen from Charles, gets it into the corner, and now Eamon Martin over to Matthew Romero on the wing. Gives it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick finds Eamon Martin on the right wing. He drives to the free throw line, holding on to it. Kicks it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holds it, brings it to the top of the key, over to Eamon Martin. Over to Matthew Romero on the left wing. Matthew drives, gives it to Eamon Martin. Eamon Martin, he's going to get the blocking foul on Gabriel's, which I believe is going to be his third, and looks like
Gabriel's hurt a little bit on the plays, holding his knee. We were trying to remember, I believe it was last year when we played Arthur, Gabriel's was injured.
yeah, I can't say quite for sure, but someone's going to come out to check out if he's okay. Scored 28-17 right now. Line's going to huddle up, try to talk about how they can work something on this.
Lions take a knee now. As the trainer's evaluating Gabriel's knee, and Gabriel's able to put weight on it, so that is good to see that it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad of an injury from him. He's going to get applauded as he leaves the court. And Skorowski comes onto the court for Arthur. Hopefully Gabriel's is okay, but for now the Lions can capitalize on his absence. He's been a pretty dominant player this game. And it is going to be Eamon to inbound.
I thought Eamon was taking a shot there, but he might have just been passing it, so he's just going to get it on the baseline under the hoop as they're waiting for Gabriel's to make his way off the court.
So yeah, I think it might have been that Eamon was, I think he was taking a shot, but the foul occurred when he was still on the floor, so they're not going to give him free throws.
But it's still Lions ball. And they're going to get it into Matthew Romero as the pace just picks back up right where it was. Eamon's shot's not going to fall.
Lions unable to rebound that.
Mass swings it to the corner to Stranowski, and Fitzpatrick tips it, and he's going to recover it after he lost control of his stolen pass, and Eamon now with it. Gives it to Fitzpatrick, over in the corner to Matthew Romero. Gets it into Gus Blood, drives hard to the middle, and he puts it in for two. Augustin Blood for two, 19-28. The Lions bring the score deficit under 10. Mast gives it over to Skronowski, takes a dribble, picks up his dribble. Lions, they get over to Mast. Gus Blood comes out with the steal, except he steps out of bounds.
But at the same time, he's able to quell the Arthur offense. And right now, Gus is between Gus and Charles. Charles is getting all the rebounds. Gus is getting all the points. So they're working really well together, complementing each other. Ball at the wing to Flume. He drives in now. His shot no good. Charles with the rebound. That's just what was happening to La Salette when they were shooting on these rims earlier in the game.
As Fitzpatrick has it, he's holding it, puts the ball on the floor, kind of Euro steps, gives it to Matthew Romero. Now Eamon with it. Finds Fitz at the top, gives it to Eamon Martin. Charles in the corner with it. Gets it to Gus Blood in the paint. He's going to go up for two, and Gus Blood, big shot from him, 21-28. Lions are now in the 20s, 4 points, as Matthews guarding Stranowski. Mass now with it.
What a strong finish from Gus Blood there. The defense unwilling to foul him as the fouls are racking up for Arthur. Shot short from Flume. Charles Prather, another rebound.
As Matthew takes it past the 10-second line, over to Fitzpatrick. Back to Matthew Romero, over to Eamon Martin on the right wing. Over to Fitz. Matthew now with it. Matthew gives it to Fitz. He saves it, barely saves it, as it almost goes past the 10-second line. Eamon Martin drives to the baseline, takes the jumper. That one's going to not fall in. Bounces out. Mass with the rebound. He's going in. Gets past Eamon. Too hard. Gus Blood comes up with the rebound. as Matthew now takes it past the 10-second line. Over to Fitzpatrick.
That was
Holding it.
risky layup from Mast. If he had made that, that would have been pretty impressive on a 1-on-2, but he doesn't, thankfully. Romero now with it in the corner. Gets it to Charles, who's holding it, looking for someone. Fitz has it, the 3, pump fakes, but he wasn't open, so he doesn't take it. Charles now moving down low. And the finish, but no good. It rattles around the rim and comes out. That was some good footwork, though, from Charles. Now Asa Binion takes it, throws it cross court to Flume. He shoots off the release and gets it. Lions down by 10 now. If they can shoot a 3, they can come right back to where they were. Romero dribbles through the trap, and he's going to get fouled. It's going to be a blocking foul.
That was what the Lions needed there. Is looking pretty scary for Matthew, who's trapped, and he went towards the middle and got the foul from number 10.
That's the Arthur Christian's 5th foul. Lions with only 1 foul this half, so Lions doing a great job playing defense, playing clean defense, and now Romero's going to get the inbounds pass from Eamon. Goes around the screen set by Gus, kicks it out to Fitz. Matt's open if he can swing it to him. Eamon does well to secure it because it's getting tipped around by Skoronski. Now Fitz drives in. If they can kick it to Matt, he can take a 3. Fakes it, gets into Charles. Eamon fakes the 3 as well, drives in. Gus Blood drives baseline, and he's going to get a charge called. Number 20, Caden Henry does it.
And I believe that's yes, that's Gus's 3rd foul. He's got to be careful for the Lions. There's a big play by Arthur there as Lions try to come back on the other end of the court. Come up with a defensive stop as Mast has it on the left wing. Swings it to Flume in the corner. Binion's going to take a shot, and he's going to sink that one, 34-21. The Lions got to stop this 3-point shooting from the Arthur at this end of the 3rd quarter. As Coach Spezia calls a timeout.
Coach Spezia hasn't been calling too many timeouts this game. He's just been letting La Salette play on their own for the most part, but he does call one now.
The Lions, they're looking strong. They just got to watch that 3-point shot. Arthur's doing a good job of moving our entire offense, forcing us to move our feet and move to the other side of the court, and then they swing quickly all the way over to a corner where there's a quick shot from, in this 3rd quarter, either Flume or Binion. On the offensive side of the floor, there have been a couple times where they had players open and they didn't see them. Matthew was open there for a long time. They finally got it to him, but it was a little bit too late. So Lions just got to look up on offense. Minute 41 left in the 3rd quarter. Still 9 minutes left. Game definitely is in either team's hands. As Eamon Martin sets up to inbound the pass. He gets it into Charles Prather, which is quickly knocked out of Charles's hand. It's going to stay with the Lions, though.
Lions down by 13 as the 3rd quarter is winding down. Charles back into Eamon. And that's going to be a block, and the and one as Eamon Martin goes up and makes his layup. More importantly, that puts Arthur at 6 fouls, 1 more, and they're going to the bonus.
And as we just said, the Lions needed a 3 there to balance that 3 out. They didn't get a 3, but got a and 1, which could be the equivalent of a 3.
That was a nice bang-bang play there. Eamon inbound it to Charles, who gave it right back to him. Eamon's free throw is good. That's a 3-point play. Deficit cut to 10, 34-24. They need to watch Flume to Binion in the corner. That 3 is going to fall short. Eamon has it. Gets it to Fitz. Minute 30 left in the 3rd quarter. Thankfully, we're not in the 4th quarter yet. Romero to Fitzpatrick. He fakes his shot. looking for someone to come to him. Drives in, nice pass to Gus. Gus backs down Mast and somehow gets that shot to fall. I don't know how he did it. He was almost directly under the basket, but he scores his 10th point of the game. And that's going to be a push somehow called on Eamon. Even though that was the player, Binion was falling out of bounds, they still called it on Eamon. I think he just lost his balance.
That's going to be Eamon's 3rd foul. And Arthur inbounds it. Fitzpatrick almost steals it. That's a 3 in the corner for Arthur. No good. Gus Blood comes up with the rebounds. Lions bring it the other way, trying to figure out something on offense. Finds Matthew. Matthew's open for a 3. Takes it. That's going to go hard off the rim. Charles almost gets the rebound. It's going to go to the hands of number 3, Ethan.
Mast now telling his team to settle down. This is right where La Salette can explode. Arthur's trying to play calm. Back to Petersham from the wing. Flume takes another 3. That bounces out. Charles goes for the rebound, but gets knocked out of his hands by Petersham. Mast now for 3. No good again, and Charles with another rebound. He's doing a great job. Fitzpatrick almost draws the foul on Mast as he tries to take a buzzer beater, but no good. So Lions cut the deficit to 8 points going into the final 8 minutes. Definitely a manageable comeback, but it's still going to be tight. It's going to be tough, but the Lions can still pull it off.
And that was good to see because the Lions do have a past of not doing so hot in the 3rd quarter. Luckily, this 3rd quarter, they stuck it out. They outscored Arthur, I believe, and now they've brought the score deficit to only 8. And a big thing, a big thing that we all need to remember going into the 4th quarter is Arthur has 6 fouls. 1 foul, and the Lions are immediately going to the free throw line to shoot 1-on-1, where the Lions only have 3. So that is going to play a huge factor for the Lions. Arthur's going to have to play more conservative on defense. We've seen that a little bit. But the Lions also have to be careful on their charges. I think that's the 3rd or 2nd charge of the game. They just cannot lower their shoulder when they're going towards the hoop.
Right, and if they see the player set up, then if it's someone like Eamon, he can pull up and stop his forward progress. Caden Henry's going to inbound for Arthur to kick off the final quarter as La Salette's down by 8. Petersham dribbling now. Cole Gabriel still has not returned to the game and probably won't. Fitzpatrick comes with a steal and tips to Eamon, just what the Lions need to start off the 4th quarter. Fitz's pass to Matthew. Almost goes out of bounds, but great play by Matthew to keep it in bounds. And he's going to draw the foul on Mast. And Matthew's going to head to the free throw line now to shoot 1-on-1.
And that's what we were looking for. Mast is a very aggressive player, especially in moments like this. Very close, and he's going to foul Matthew, sending him to the free throw line for a 1-on-1, possibly making this a 2-possession game. These are huge free throws for Matthew.
First free throw is good. No doubt about it. Once it went through the rim. Matthew's 2nd shot good as well. Lions cut the deficit to 6, 34-28. Mast is nowhere near as confident as he was earlier in the game where it seemed like everything that left his hands went through the rim.
And the Lions defense just looking stellar right now, jumping on every opportunity that they can get. A lot more aggressive than Arthur right now, most likely because of the foul deficit. Mast, he's going to take a 3. That's a big 3. No good. Off the front of the rim, but Fitzpatrick comes up with the rebound.
And he settles down. He's not going to make a foolish turnover. An important game like this. Gets the ball to Eamon at the top of the key. Eamon looks, drives left, pulls back out, rolls around the screen, set by Charles. Bounce pass to Matthew, back to Fitz, and then to Matthew again. Charles open for a jumper, but he doesn't want to take it.
Eamon muscling his way towards the hoop, lays it in for 2. A beautiful layup there by Eamon Martin, bringing the score 30-34. The Lions absolutely on fire right now, just controlling the court. Big 3 in the corner. That's no good. Off the rim hard. Rebound by Arthur, holding on it in the paint, and they're going to call a foul down below, and that might be on Eamon Martin. If it is, that's...
And it is, so that's Eamon's 4th foul. He needs to be really careful. He can't foul out of the game. Coach Spazion happy if they call it, that we keep getting fouls called on us down low on the other side, and the coaches for Salette not happy about it. Shot from Cade Henry way off. Throws it inbounds, but it's going to go off of Petersham. Going to stay with the Lions. I'm sorry, that was off of Skorowski. Lions down by 4. Biggest problem right now is keeping fouls down, especially Eamon. Eamon cannot foul, and I'm sure Jaden Mass knows that, and so he's going to target Eamon.
Fitzpatrick now with it on the wing, drives in, kicks it to Charles. Charles holding on, swinging around, making space for himself. Takes dribble towards the hoop, got to get rid of it. Gives it to Eamon. Eamon drives in, he's going to do a floater, and he's called for the air one. Eamon, what a beautiful shot. Going to the free throw line to make this a 3-point play. A huge play by Eamon Martin to possibly put this in a 1-point game.
Right, Eamon with his 10th points. He and Gus, of course, both in the lead with 10 points each. Eamon, lights out, free throw shooter, he sinks it, and the Lions have cut the deficit to 1. It is 34-33 with a little under 6 minutes left to play in the game. Flume in the corner for 3, doesn't take it. Shoots in motion and misses. Matthew O'Mara with the rebound. Momentum strongly in favor of the Lions. Fitzpatrick taking up the court now.
Eamon with it on the wing. He's looking for something. Gives it to Matthew. Matthew fakes the shot. Gives it back to Fitzpatrick. Over to Eamon. Eamon holding it. Slowing things down. Want to take their time. Get a good shot off. Fitzpatrick holding it at the top. Eamon Martin making room. Drives in. Gets the ball tipped away from him. He's on the ground.
And it's going to be a jump ball. It was Eamon had it squeezed between his legs, and so he wasn't going to move. And so Arthur went ahead and put their hands on the ball to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Lions, so Eamon's going to inbound under the Arthur hoop.
He has Matthew open. Matthew threatening, gives it to Fitzpatrick at the top. Lions wanting to take the lead right now. Matthew drives in, kicks it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holds it, gives it back to Matthew at the top of the perimeter. 5:01 left in the 4th. Eamon holds it, drives towards the middle, gives it to Matthew outside the perimeter. Quick pass into Charles Prather. Charles spins around, lays it in, off the backboard, in for 2. Lions take the lead, 35-34. 4 minutes, 46 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Pass over to Mast. He takes a deep 3 off the rim. Rebound Arthur by Flume. Over to Mast. He loses control of it. Matthew on the ground, going for it. They're going to call jump ball. It's going to be Arthur's ball.
But I don't know what Mass is thinking. He was wide open about 6 feet behind the three-point line. If he wanted to take a three-pointer, he could have dribbled into the arc and taken a much easier one, but he got a little ahead of himself and took a deep 3, and he wasn't off by much, but he was off.
Arthur's going to grab the mop after 3 players were on the ground. Very sweaty because the Lions have been fighting their hardest out there to crawl and claw back at the scoreboard as they have successfully finally taken the lead at the end of the 4th quarter. And just outstanding playing out there from the Lions offense and defense. But quickly before this quarter ends, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our teachers, Mr. Bebeau. Teaches me Lion and teaches Kevin and I art history. As the Arthur manager comes out and mops up the floor to get the rest of this 4th quarter undergo.
Mass is going to inbound under the Lions hoop, looking, not seeing anyone, and then he throws it all the way down across half court to Skorowski. He fields it cleanly. Flume with it now to Binion for 3. That's good.
37-35. 4:18. Matthew takes it past the 10-second line. Being guarded heavily by Mast. Fitzpatrick now holding it. Drives in, gives it to Matthew. Matthew pump fakes it, holds onto it, gives it to Eamon. Little risky pass, but Eamon gets it. And timeout called by Coach Spezia.
Yeah, that could have very easily been a turnover if someone besides Eamon had been there. That was the toughest pass to grab when it bounces just barely in front of you, so it comes up and basically hits you in the knees. But Eamon's has great hands, so he was able to keep that from getting turned over. 4 minutes left to play. Anything could happen. Such a tight game, especially.
And that was a big, big three for Arthur. They needed that three. The Lions had the momentum for the past 2 quarters, I guess you could say. And finally, a big play for Arthur. The Lions just have to get it back, come up with something big here, and then go right back down on defense and make a strong play. The Lions have an advantage of being in the bonus. However, Arthur has the advantage of Eamon having 4 fouls. Eamon cannot afford to foul out of this game. He's going to take the ball on the sideline, inbounding it for the Lions. Had Fitz, doesn't give it to him. Now he's going to give it to Matthew. Matthew finds Fitzpatrick on the wing. Way outside the perimeter. He's trying to find something. Gets past Binion, gives it to Matthew. Matthew over to Eamon. Eamon goes inside the perimeter, pulls it back out to William Fitzpatrick. William drives into the middle, gives it to Eamon. Eamon drives, dribbling around with it, and not finds anything. Gives it to Matthew, over to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holds it, almost gets it stolen from him, keeps it. Eamon picks up his dribble, needs to get rid of it. Has to pass it, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holding it outside the perimeter, gets it to Charles. Charles fakes the jumper. Now Eamon with it, backing his way into the post, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Over to Gus Blood, 3 minutes, 19 seconds. Over to Eamon. Eamon drives to the baseline. Jumper off the rim, no good. Rebound Arthur. This is a big play here for Arthur. Lions cannot let them score. Mass is going to take a deep three off the rim, no good. Charles Prather is going to catch it.
And they are going to call a travel because he loses his footing on the way down. Coach Spazian happy does not think that was a travel because he didn't think that Charles's feet hit the ground before he came to ground, which is why they would call a travel if his feet moved. But it seemed like Charles just came straight down, but call a travel nevertheless.
Flume takes the three way off. Gus Blood barely grabs the ball. It goes out of bounds. He needs someone to come and get it, and Fitzpatrick does. 2 minutes, 54 seconds left. Takes it past the 10-second line.
Now Fitzpatrick driving, season opening, kicks it out to Eamon. Romero pops out to the top. Fitz fakes a shot.
Eamon holding on the left wing. Big play here for the Lions. Charles Prather finds Matthew on the other wing. He drives to the middle. He's going to be called for the foul. He's going to the free throw line to shoot 1-on-1. The Lions 1 foul away for being in the double bonus. That's Mast's 3rd foul. So Matthew's lining up to shoot 1-on-1. Matthew's shot's no good. Charles Prather with the rebound, put back for 2. Ties the game up, 37-37. Great play there from Charles Prather. Arthur trying to do something. Throws the ball way out of bounds.
Asa Binion just loses himself and just throws it way out of bounds. And the momentum, if there was, I don't even know, if there was like a balance scale right now for momentum, I think we just broke it. Charles was going up to get the rebound with one hand, and he just tipped it right in off the glass.
We might have to classify that as the play of the game. Tying this game up right now. And they're going to call a charge on Matthew. That's the Lions' 5th foul. Thankfully, that was not on Eamon.
It's going to be drawn by Mast. That's Matthew's 2nd foul only, however. A little over 2 minutes left to play. Game tied 37-all. Players call the mop over to mop up the sweat on the court.
Two minutes and 10 seconds left. Maybe 6 more possessions left. The Lions have to play smart. They cannot afford to let the Arthur take a 3. They have the advantage of being in the double bonus if they get fouled. So they need to just be cautious watching the three-point line and then be conservative coming down on offense, but also being aggressive and trying to force a foul.
Coach Spezia telling Romero that one more foul from Arthur puts the Lions into the double bonus. Lions need to be careful. Arthur's getting charges called all the time. We can't get another charge.
But for that, the Lions, if they take a charge here, that would be huge. They got to look out for that.
Flume dribbling in, drives in, kicks out to Skorowski, whose three falls short. Gus Blubb with the rebound. He gets it to Romero. 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Lions need to score on this possession. Score tied at 37 all. Arthur benches loud and their cheering section crazies, bringing the energy as they have all game.
Fitzpatrick now at the top. He drives into the middle, takes the jumper. That's no good. Goes hard off the rim. Rebound Arthur. Minute 26 seconds left. Over to Binion. He gets it, gives it into the wing. Charles Flume gets past Prather, and Helmuth is going to put it in for two. 39-37. Lions need to score here. Minute 12. Matthew with it. They cannot afford a turnover. Matthew dribbles, gives it to Eamon. Eamon trying to make space for himself. He's driving at the free throw line. The ball poked away from him. Timeout called by Coach Spezia with 58 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Lions just need two to tie, and then they can come back down and score, and just a foul will put them at the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. So,
and I don't know. I mean, I feel like every kid's dream is to hit a 3 buzzer beater in a game, but I don't know. Is a 3 the smartest shot right now for the Lions? I mean, I think they should stick with the 2. I don't know if they haven't been hitting their 3s this game, so I think they should just stick with getting into the post. A nice easy layup for Charles and Gus. Eamon, maybe a jumper, but we cannot afford a turnover, a bad pass, a bad jumper. Lions need to be strong for the next 58 seconds.
all right, it's going to be La Salette ball in the Arthur half the court. Less than a minute to play in this game. My hands are sweating so much. I am nervous, but I'm confident that the Lions can pull off a W.
Eamon inbounding the ball. The ball's passed to Eamon. He's got 5 seconds. Easily gets it into Fitz. Fitzpatrick holds it outside the perimeter, gets the screen from Gus. Gives it to Eamon. Eamon drives to the baseline, and he's called for the foul. He's going to the free throw line to shoot 2. And these free throws could be the determination whether or not the Lions win this game. That's Binion's 3rd foul.
Eamon's first free throw hits the front of the rim. My heart stopped, and then the ball rolled forwards, went in. Oh, man.
39-38, 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Eamon fires his second one off the rim hard. Charles Prather, he's called for, I don't know what foul. He was going for the ball, but that's going to be the Lions' 6th foul. Charles Prather's 1st foul. The Lions cannot foul again, or else Arthur's in the bonus. It's a 1-point game. Helmuth with it, and into Mast. Fitzpatrick slips, he recovers, gets back up. It's a 4-on-5. Flume holds on to it. 39 seconds left.
Mast open in the corner. Gus Blood's there to cover. Now Binion with it. Swings it to Skorowski in the corner. Cross-court pass. Helmuth goes up for a shot. That's good. Conquering Riders up by 3 right now. Clock winding down. La Salette needs to get a 3 off. Coach Spezia calls a timeout with 17.2 seconds left. And this is probably the possession of the year right now for the Lions.
And the big question is, who is Coach Spezia going to pick to take the 3? The Lions, in the past, Eamon Martin has been lights out at the three-point line, but other games he's been missing. Fitzpatrick, he's been good at the three-point line at the past 2 games, but games before that, he's struggled. Matthew has a little bit more inconsistent, but that's just a tough choice to see who should take the three. Or maybe they should go in, try to make a layup, quickly foul Arthur, put him at the free throw line, hope they'll miss their free throws, and go for the other end knowing that they're in the double bonus.
Right, I really don't know. I'm glad that I'm not the one that has to make the decision. Also glad that I'm not the one that has to take the shot. Either way, it's going to be tough. We can just sit here and hope. In 17 seconds, it is enough time for 2 possessions if the Lions are able to steal the inbounds pass. But they have got to score on this play. We'll see how it goes.
17 seconds. They got to move quick. 5 seconds started. Ball into ball into Charles. Amon taking it. Pulls back. He has it. He's going in. He pulls up a layup, and it rolls in. 1-point game. 9 seconds left. The clock is still running. I don't know why.
And then Charles finally fouls Mass. Definitely some dishonest home court advantage. The clock did not stop as the ball came down out of the hoop. If you want to see, you can check. I'm not sure if that shows up on the video, but that was like 4 seconds that Arthur just stole.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know why the clock was still running. Oh, it was, I don't think does the clock stop after, I don't think the clock stops after a made shot. It might not.
Doesn't it?
I don't think it does. It might not. I don't think the clock stops after a made shot.
So we just checked with the scorers table. They said that after a made shot, the clock isn't supposed to start until the ball gets inbounded, and it was bouncing around, and Helmuth was just waiting under the basket to inbound it, watching the clock wind down. Finally, Charles fouled Mast, and Mast is going to head to the free throw line now to shoot 1-and-1. If the Lions are able to come away with the rebound, they're going to have to throw up a buzzer beater. We've seen Amon hit buzzer beaters before. I remember his freshman year in a freshman-sophomore game, he hit one from the other team's free throw line. We'll have to see what happens. Lost let down by 1.
Two points, 2.8 seconds left on the clock, down by 1.
Mass free throw is good. It's going to have to rely on a three-pointer now.
I think it will have to be a three-pointer anyway. I don't think there's going to be enough time to get the ball past the court, but now they're going to have to get a three-pointer to tie the game. Amon Martin with it. 1 second, takes the shot, and that's going to be no good. Over the top of the backboard. And a crushing loss for the Lions after such a big comeback from the Lions. Amon had the 3. He was off balance.
It's got to hurt, but Lions, very, very hard-fought game. Especially, you can't rule out the fact that they did just play a full game last night, that they were able to come away with the win. The student body here is about to go on Christmas break, so there's going to be a bit of a hiatus in between games. The next game is going to be Tuesday, January 10th. Against University High. JV's at 6 p.m. and Varsity's at 7:30. So final score, Lions 40, Arthur Christian 43. I'm Kevin Quigley and Michael McCall. Thank you all for watching and have a wonderful rest of your evening.